Hear it, and see it. When you want it. On demand, audio and video at 630wpro.com.
Well, question number one has to be, what's the situation with the holiday tree this year?
Well, last year I said to the staff, what did the previous governor do? Whatever the previous governor did, let's do that. And that's what I did last year. Somehow that erupted into controversy. And so the same is true this year. The tradition has been, in recent years, to call it a holiday tree. I'm continuing that tradition.
The tradition, in your mind, begun by Governor Kuchir.
That's right. Yes.
Do you have a problem with calling it a Christmas tree?
I call it a Christmas tree at home, and I worship, I'm a Christian and worship as a Christian and have a Christmas tree at home, but we do have to be careful. I remember having to say the Lord's Prayer in elementary school, so things have changed over time, and the receptivity to different religions in a public building. This is a public building. Now some say I'm overreacting, but the previous governor did the same thing. I didn't start the holiday tree. The previous governor did.
So you're
one
mindful?
of the previous. I think going back to Governor Almond, actually.
Do you
So
feel
Governor,
that
you're mindful of Roger Williams?
Of course. And this is the lively experiment. That's Rhode Island, and I am conscious of our history here in Rhode Island with Roger Williams and the whole separation issue and being receptive to all religions. That's what Roger Williams started here with our charter, called it a lively experiment, that everybody was welcome. This is a public building.
Do you feel it's an issue of being sensitive to other faiths?
Yes, I do. Yes. And
Is
times
it a
are
pickle?
changing. It's just times. As I said, we used to say the Lord's Prayer in elementary school. Everybody had to stand up and say, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." And there were people that did not believe in that prayer had to say it. So that times change.
So there will be a tree lighting.
Yes, there will be a tree.
Will
lighting.
you light the tree?
Yes.
Governor, you say at home you call it a Christmas tree. I'm wondering if you say it's a changing world, if you find it's a pickle you're in here. On the one hand, you know there are people who want to call it a Christmas tree, and yet on the other hand, you know there are also people who are just happy with the way it is, calling it a holiday tree, this new tradition as you're calling it. Where are you in this? I mean, it is a tough road to navigate.
Yes, especially with our history in Rhode Island and our charter, which is right around the corner, the lively experiment, first time anywhere in the world, a charter enshrined these freedoms of religion. It was here in Rhode Island in 1663. So that's a factor, and I understand that sometimes these changes, sometimes I get ahead of myself on where we're going, but as I said, the Lord's Prayer, that was a huge controversy when the Supreme Court ruled everybody doesn't have to say the Lord's Prayer. That was a big deal, but now it seems to make so much sense. Of course, everybody shouldn't have to get up and say a very religious statement if that's not your religion.
So you're suggesting you might be, again, ahead of yourself, not to say, so far ahead of yourself, but that you're in the now, but you're also dealing with the future, or what you perceive to be the future, that those days are gone. And we better be more sensitive to the minority view, even if it isn't the majority view.
Yes, especially in a public building. It's a public building paid for by all the people. And churches are churches. And that's where religious ceremonies should take place. So I'm aware of the different sentiments that are out there from people on this issue. But the prayer banner in the Cranston School, these are all evolving sympathies with people of different thoughts on these topics, religion in particular.
Are you expecting and prepared to take hits for this position? Going again with holiday tree when last year you know what happened?
Yes, but I don't think it really should be a priority of the governor's. There's so many economic issues that are so important, and also whether it's West Warwick or Woonsocket, the DMV, RIPTA, these are the issues the governor really should be involved in my view.
Lastly, are you upset or chagrined at having to revisit this issue again this year?
Well, I knew that after Thanksgiving this was going to be an issue, and there was really no win here. Back down and call it a Christmas tree, or continue what the previous governors have done.
You say no win, meaning what?
I'm going to get beat up.
You know it.
You're quite aware of that.
I am.
Now,
But
one
I
process.
can only
Go
say
ahead.
to the Rhode Islanders, my real job is to fix RIPTA and get them solvent with good quality service and get the deficits from RIP, to get good quality service, the DMV, a DCYF is a challenge. That's really my job, and I'll say that to the Rhode Island taxpayer. That's the job that you elected me to do.
One process question, Governor. There was some confusion between yesterday and today. I was not involved in it. I only saw the Journal this morning, and then later I saw Chris's email saying that it was a mistake to say there wasn't going to be I can't even believe I'm asking this question. It's borderline ridiculous. But which was it? Was this a mistake, or was there a change in position?
I don't think we had focused enough on that decision. I was in France taking care of business, looking after Rhode Island company with 350 jobs, and so we really hadn't made a focused decision at that time.
But now